Hi guys, welcome to your daily reading. Today's reading is for Saturday. What is today? Saturday. Yes. Yes, today's Saturday. God. I forgot. I thought it was Sunday and I was thinking, oh my God, work is Monday. It's Saturday here in Japan. So welcome to your daily reading for October 26th, Saturday. Guys, for today's reading, this very much seems all about spiritual service. Again, I feel like a lot of the people who are attracted to my videos, they do come for, of course, personal messages and whatever needs to come through. However, I feel like a lot of you are definitely going to be having some kind of project that you have to do. I don't mean to beat a dead horse, God bless. But, it's true. So, that being said, as I was shuffling the cards, I asked God, I was like, okay, God, I'm always like, what kind, compassionate, and highly accurate messages do you have for my angels? Like that, the word angels always comes out. So Spirit is definitely referring to you guys as angels. And the minute I laid the first card down, ding, I heard the words, I surrender my ego. Ooh. So, yes. So let's jump straight in. I surrender my ego, yes. But why? I feel like the cards here are speaking to some kind of project that you guys have to do. Off to the side, I'm seeing the presence of the dark night of the soul right along underneath with this orbs of light. And the last card following right underneath there. Oh my God, there's another card. Okay, I'm literally just seeing these cards begging to come in, and I'm thinking each one is the last one. And then oh my God. Okay, all right. Just follow what Spirit wants. Okay, 5 cards. Let's take a look. Let me make sure that this is bright enough, though. Can you guys see? Oh, okay. Whatever. Here we go. Notice that a lot of you are on this path. If today's reading resonates with you, you've been on this path of stress, ending that will end or progress into that service again. Now, I'm seeing a lot of you as going through something that we can refer to as the dark night of the soul. For a lot of you, these are third-party situations. For a lot of you, they're situations that have been disruptive in your life. Maybe something was stolen from you. Maybe you've lost resources. Maybe at work, your work life, something happened. Whatever this is, it's a tower moment that's encapsulated within some larger movement in your life. Because I'm seeing a tower moment kind of right here. Don't ask how, but I'm seeing a tower moment here. Like there's a tower right there. But it's couched within this larger movement. And that's why we call it the dark night of the soul. Because we know the tower moments are really bad. They hurt. They speak of destruction. And of course, hopefully to be followed by rebirth and spiritual learning. But when we talk about dark night of the soul, that's like that tower moment that is like on like 100. Okay, it's maybe even tower after tower after tower destruction. You're seeing each part of your like castle falling down, and lessons are being thrown everywhere. And the word that comes to mind most with this dark night of the soul is the word school. So it's all about schooling you, all about lessons. And that's what I feel a lot of you guys have been going through, regardless of what your situation is. Now, notice that orb of light here. I'm seeing, not to get graphic, but I'm seeing like a boob and nipple right here. Don't ask, because those are clearly her hands. But but what I'm seeing, what I'm getting from angels and our guides is that this tower moment is feeding you. It's nurturing you. It's giving you sustenance. It's giving you just the right dose of whatever you need. I'm hearing just the right dose of comedy. So, yeah, we got to laugh at this, guys, at some point, right? But, like, so you have this tower moment, right? And this dark night of the soul. But look at what's being here. Something being extracted from you, but also something being given to you. Check that out. So how much more beautiful can it be when God creates space within our psyche, within our relationships, within our energy fields, within our workday, our schedules? Yes, nature abhors a vacuum, but the beautiful thing about God is that God steps in and doesn't replace it with something that is just going to be equally as destructive, if not more. Instead, what's given to you is something beautiful, something more higher vibrating, and something more gentle but potent. And that's what I'm seeing here. Notice the next card. This energy has been ingested, and now it's up at this person's heart. Notice the card, it's 1111. I'm surprised that the Ascension card didn't come out, because these cards tend to come out together with that Ascension card. But I'm feeling those, I'm hearing the words memories, and I'm hearing the words enemies. So I'm feeling those memories and now I want to say what I wanted to say, energies. Gosh, all three of those words, I guess. I'm feeling those energies all present. Oh, thank you, Spirit. They're trying to get you to realize that all of the enemies, quote unquote, and all of the memories created along the way have contributed to these energies and this ascension and all of that stuff. So things are not for naught. Take a look here. You've accepted that power, that tower moment. You've transmuted it, you've transfixed it, you've transcended. Still transcending, but here you are, after purifying yourself in that light, here you are finally getting into these gates. Master Hilarion is, and Archangel Raphael, thank God, thank you guys. They both speak of teaching, Master Hilarion, and healing. Wait, did he show up? Okay, there's a card in this other deck where he usually shows up. He didn't show up in this reading, but here he is. Right? They're coming to teach you. And check this out, guys. The last card that Spirit wants to bring through is initiation by fire. So again, you are being initiated, guys. If today, if you are on this call and you stay long enough and it feels like it resonates, then you, my dear, are definitely coming into a place in your life where you're being asked to give of yourself, to start your mission, your work that you agreed to. And yes, you have gone through some pain and whatnot, and that pain is probably what has gotten you on the path of watching YouTube readings and on the path of inquiring about yourself as it was supposed to. And here you are being welcomed by your master. And when I say master, I don't mean master in a hierarchical sense. They always want us to see them as brethren. Thank you. That's the word they gave me the other night. They want us to see them as lateral to us. It's not hierarchical. If you want to count anything, it has to do with the level of expertise. Of course, they may be seen as our more experienced brethren, but they're our brethren. They work alongside us. So don't get into this place of overly revering them and this and that. Look, see, her eye is closed. They're telling me with that image, their eyes are closed to that, because they don't speak of higher levels like that and hierarchical, because that feeds into ego, and it's a slippery slope for anybody to get into this idea that they're above us and we're below them and this and that. And they don't want you to feel that way. They want you to think of this more as a lateral situation, people helping each other where they can, pitching in for all of us to be in service to the divine. And that's all it is. And so they're here to help you, to boost you, to bestow upon you, to teach you and heal you and initiate you. Okay? And they're saying that as you're in initiation mode, you're safe. They're saying once you get to this initiation mode, you're so much safer than you can ever believe, because look at her eyes are closed and she's got this shield around her. They're saying that a lot of times people don't make it out of their dark night of the soul as intact as they had hoped on the other side. And so while some of them may be slated to step into mastery, they don't necessarily reach there, or they don't reach there as quickly as their higher self thought that they would, or they intended to. That's because they get caught up in the minutiae, is what they're referring to. A word that they had given us earlier is the melee, but basically those are vocabulary words to talk about the emotions, the raw bitterness, the rejection, the dejection, the sadness, the guilt, the shame, all of those things that naturally come with these human experiences, but can serve to trap us if we don't transmute it. But if you're on this call and you are receiving this here today, then know that you are definitely coming through it. And your teachers are here, your guides are here, and they're pulling you in. I'm feeling them pulling you in for this initiation. All right. And what does your initiation look like on a practical level? Well, it's, these are big fancy words, but what it will look like or feel like depends on you. In hindsight, it could be something like, oh, you know what? I just got super into reading up about fire and the uses of fire throughout humanity and this and that, and and how it can be harnessed for good and how it can be harnessed for not so good, and how it could be harnessed for destruction, and then it turns out that your spiritual service has to do with helping firefighters around the world or around the country or around your local community upgrade their technology or look at things in a different way, or it could be anything. It really, really could be anything. Your initiation could look like you going in to get body work, things being pulled out of you. It could look like you going into libraries and getting new different kinds of learnings and being directed towards books and all sorts of recordings. It could look like you suddenly getting interested in things like crystals and whatnot, and then you have a favorite crystal and then you start reading up about that crystal and it leads you on to something else. It could be about you starting to work with children. It could be anywhere. In the prison system, in the jail system, in construction, in cooking, in energy healing, in poetry. It doesn't matter. Like, imagine the globe, just this beautiful globe that is our earth, and imagine all of these beautiful energies that are our souls and our spirits coming down to administer to the world. We're shooting all over. And we're doing all sorts of things. You never know where you're needed. All you need to do is surrender this pain, surrender to the process, and be directed to where you need to be. So take a look here. Spiritual decree. I surrender. I said degree. Spiritual degree. Spiritual studies, right? You're getting your degree, guys. Spiritual decree. Definitely that first step that I get in a lot of these readings when someone has a project coming up. I surrender my ego, God, and I surrender to you. I go inward and I understand that I have all the knowledge that I need to do my journey. I may not necessarily know what I'm going to be doing, and I don't need to know. I have trust that I'm going to put one foot in front of the other, and everything that I hear, speak, experience is all for the sake of being the best person that I can be for the job. And that's all there is to it. And because of that, I don't rush to judge, because I know that God is placing this in front of me for a reason, because I'm on the path. I'm on this path. I'm not lost anymore. I'm not wandering around. As an initiate, I know that I have started my sacred curriculum, and I just have to have that idea that whatever comes in my way is designed to be. If I'm stuck in traffic, it's designed to be that way. Why? Because there's a reason I'm holding that energetic space at that time. If I'm in an elevator and I get stuck and and me and like 5 other people are there and I never say a word but everyone else is talking, I need to be there for a reason to learn something and or to give something. Sometimes I know that what I'm doing by being in that space is on an energetic level. Somehow I may be healing somebody who needs that. Somehow I may be assisting their guides and spirits and whatnot, and I don't even know it. So I just need to show up as God asked me to be and try to accept whatever that is, right? 5th ray of knowledge. In this, I'm seeing doctor. So a lot of you may be getting into medical related stuff. Remember, medical related stuff doesn't always have to be doctor as we know it with the MD and this and that. It's just healing. You can heal through poetry. I'm seeing people maybe getting signed on to help people rebuild, building houses for people who need it, even people in the wake of natural disasters. That's healing. That's medicine there. You know why? Because you are directly speaking to their first chakra and that feeling of stability and needing that foundation. Maslow's period. Maslow's like, excuse me, no. Maslow's pyramid? Okay, listen, maybe Maslow had secrets. We don't know, but just kidding. Maslow's pyramid, right? What's at the base? Survival. Listen. Anyway, you get the point. This is that sacred knowledge that you're aware of. Look at that bubble. Oh my God, they look the same. Ding, ding. Yeah, Spirit is saying, yes, they do. They do. As an initiate, you just have to know that there are things that you're going to be seeing and experiencing and feeling and quote unquote knowing or remembering or having access to that a lot of people around you will not. This is not to put you above them, but it is to show that you're at a different frequency, you're in a different space than a lot of these people are. Look, what does that mean? That means some people are going to feel hostile towards you for no reason. They don't even know why they feel hostile. They may feel uneasy. There's a feeling of unease with them, and that may translate into them based on their defense mechanisms in their own way. Could be jealousy. They might feel envy. They might get sick and tired of being around you. They might actually get physically sick in your presence based on what's in their energy field and as it intertwines with yours. There are many things. I'm seeing some people may physically hurl things at you. They may not realize they're doing it, but for example, as you're on this path, just to give you a quick example, I'm seeing somebody here, maybe you have a sister. I'm seeing that maybe you have a younger sister who, you know, as you're going through this situation, I keep wanting to say period. So period, phase, you know, period, menstruation. Look, we don't know. God chose the word period for a reason. But I see that as you're going through this, I'm seeing you in this apartment or house that you share with your family, and you being there with a younger sister of yours, but not young, but just younger than you in age. And maybe you ask her, "Hey, can you pass me the remote, or can you pass me something?" And she hurls it at you. You know, oh wow, you can't catch, but there's a little bit of extra aggression on that. Do you understand what that is like when someone throws something, or they clap your back or hold your shoulders in a joking way, but there's just a little bit of aggression there and a little bit of extra that you pick up on. It kind of feels like being attacked, even though like it's subtextual. So it's so subtextual that if you were to say, wow, you really put some spin on that, they'd be like, what are you talking about? And you might get into an argument about it. So it's kind of like there are people that are going to be trying to quote unquote attack you in the physical that they may not even realize that they're doing it, but it's so subtle. And the reason why, it has less to do with you and more to do with the energy that you're going to be carrying and working with. I'm seeing some of you in institutions, maybe needing to go in, fill out paperwork and whatnot, and it's almost like the people the tellers that you're working with at the bank, or somebody that you're working with in immigration or at the embassy or something, they kind of physically recoil a little bit from you. They seem a little intimidated. They may be short on their words. They may be curt with you. They might like feel disempowered with you if you're asking them, hey, can you please help me to fill out this paperwork? The way you're talking to them is too pure, in a sense. The energy, the frequency is too pure. And so some people shy away from it. See how this guy is like shying away from it? They're intimidated by it. Again, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the frequency. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of an example, you guys know Hassan Minhaj. He is currently on Netflix, and I forgot Patriot Games or Patriot Act or Patriot something on Netflix is the show that he does. I should just be able to check that out. Hold on. Because you know, guys, I always have Netflix open in the background. My bad. But of course, I don't, like, where is it? Hold on. I think it's called Patriot Act. Yeah, Patriot Act with Hassan Minhaj. He was on a show that I didn't like at first, but came to like, he was on a show with Jerry Seinfeld. It's called Riding in Cars with Comedians. And on that show, I noticed when they were in the car together, there was a moment when, as I was watching Hassan talk to Jerry Seinfeld, like Jerry was like looking at him like confused. Like with my spirit eyes, I can see this confusion, and it's like on some level, maybe Jerry wasn't aware of it, but on some level, it's kind of like he's like looking at him. Who are you? It's like this energy of bafflement. Is that a word? He was baffled. He didn't know how to read Hassan. He didn't understand Hassan. And as I was seeing Hassan speaking, there was like this golden ray of energy coming out of his mouth, but it was very encoded. And I feel that it was protection. He has so much golden energy around him. It is absolutely protection. It's it's golden and it's pixelated looking. Let me see. There's a card that I can find and kind of show you guys what that looks like a little bit, but if it were more pixelated like this. But his would be more pixelated and look all digital like that, and this looks more smooth and whatnot. But there was a golden energy of protection that was very thick with him. It was energetic, and I knew that he is kind of like a messenger, and he's so highly protected because the messages that are coming out of him are just so advanced, so evolved. His energy belongs to, I would say, the new world, in a sense, the new earth. And I've never seen that around other people that I've looked at on TV or people that I've seen out here. Doesn't mean they don't have it, but for whatever reason, that one stood out to me, and I could see that not only was Jerry unable to interpret that because it was like two operating systems that were different. No one is better than the other. It's just two different frequencies. But I felt that Hassan's message, his energy, was almost like programmed to be indistinguishable to certain people and only be distinguishable and readable to others. And the reason why, I think, is so that others cannot confuse him, because if I were to look at it as one person, as Jerry was talking to him and he's talking to him, it's like Jerry's communicating and he's communicating, but his energy is coming out like it's gonna sound like that. It comes out straight, but as it comes here, it gets to his field, it starts to get garbled, and the person's like left like, what are you talking about? Or who are you? I don't know. I can't put my finger on what you are, and it's because it's just too different. And I felt that as they interacted, it's not only that the frequencies are so different that they couldn't mesh at that time, but it was also because there was a little bit of a protection here, so that nothing can make its way in. Because sometimes some people have such strong energies that it can force, oh look, the word force, that it can force its way, and I'm seeing force its way into you and your field. And what that looks like is you may see two people coming up for a debate, and one guy you heard was going to be good, he's going to be great, and you know the other guy's going to be good and great, and this guy starts talking and he's on it. Then this person starts talking, and then it starts to confuse this guy. He starts to lose his platform. So we've seen that before. So but I feel like Hassan's is done in a certain way. I'm going to blow this out before it leaks onto my bed. All right. Is Hassan's is done in a way that it's meant to protect his message. So he's doing this show called Patriot Act right now, but I don't really think he stepped into what it is that he came to Earth to do as yet, just so you guys know. So keep an eye on him. Now, again, it doesn't mean that he's better than Jerry and this and that. That doesn't mean that at all. Everybody has their own role, and maybe things are different in between their energy fields now, but in that moment on that show, when they first got into the car, that was what I saw. And so I almost said, and so spirit guides, I almost called you guys, I swear to God, I almost called you guys spirit guides. Okay, so I think you guys are going to be, that's interesting, because as I said that, and this is not the first time I almost referred to you guys listening as guides. And I started noticing they're refer to you as angels too. But I feel maybe it's possible you guys are going to be spirit guides to other people as well, whether it's when you pass on and you're on the other side working with people, just like our guides are working with us, or if it's in this lifetime or just whatever. So I feel there's some training going on for you, which explains this right here. So it's possible that a lot of you are training to become spirit guides if you haven't already done that yet. And I think maybe all this lifetime and all that stuff, that it's you gathering to prepare. All right, so either way, let's take a look. So they're showing you surrendering your ego, making that spiritual decree, speaking to God and saying yes, and understanding that your energy field is going to brighten. There are going to be things encoded with you. So when you start seeing things literally being repelled from you, people moving aside, and people maybe trying to attack you on their way out, like throwing things, and whether they know it or not, or just being a little too strong with you. Again, I'm seeing this force here. That's all of that. But eventually they will subside, because as your energy field is too big, they cannot be there anymore. All right? And you still love them, but the ones that can follow you and the ones that can walk with you will have a call to action in that space, and they will hire themselves as well. They will work towards that. And the ones who will choose to work towards other things or still have other things that they want to work on will not be in your space. This is not to say anything mean about these other people. They have different things they're working on, right? And they're moving out of your field for a reason. So be careful with the ego, guys. Don't see it as I'm better and I'm more ascended and I'm this and that, because that's, I don't know if that's the case or not, but either way, it's not a reaction that we should foster or focus on. Now, I'm also seeing you unplugging from mass consciousness. I wanted to snap here because energetically I felt like I needed to snap. I feel that it's going to be much easier for you to do that. And when I snapped, I felt like that was spirit snapping for me to show you not only that it's going to be easy, it's going to be like a link that is just broken, but it's also like it's just the way it is. It's the way it sounds. I don't know. What do you guys want from me? I don't know what to say. But what that means is as you get here, they're showing you it's going to be easy. You may no longer watch certain shows on TV. Listen, I know a lot of us love our SVU or whatever. What is it? Law and Order Special Victims Unit. But it's really low vibing TV. Let's keep it real, guys. How many sexual assaults do we have to watch on TV and consume it as entertainment, right? And this is no shade, no judges towards people who do watch it, right? Because we all have shows that we watch that we're like, really? Why am I watching this? But it's entertaining, blah, 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 blah. But I feel that those shows are going to lose flavor. God isn't taking these shows out of your life. Always remember that. They're not taking these things out of your life. They are elevating you. You are elevating yourself through your choices and what you're ready for. And through that elevation, you're receiving more of the light from God and spirit and all that. And as you do that, you naturally gravitate away from whatever these low vibing things are. So don't get all head up and like, well, I'm still watching this show, but I want to be brighter and this and that. That's the wrong approach. Instead, thank God for wherever it is that you are. Bring in as much light as you can. And if you're still watching shows, if you're still consuming things that are low vibing or whatever, then understand that that's where you are at that moment. And genuinely know that as you move up, you will start to surrender those things. That's just how it is, okay? All right? So don't give yourself a hard time, guys. Never give yourself a hard time. We're not prescriptive here. We are only descriptive. We're only looking at what we are experiencing. We're giving words to what we're experiencing so that we can share our experiences with others who will be having similar experiences soon or who have something to weigh in on it. But when you start doing all the I should this, why am I not doing that, I should be here, and what's wrong with me, that's when you're fighting against yourself. As a wise therapist once said, stop shoulding all over yourself. Sorry. I just love that joke, okay? Don't keep telling yourself you should this and you should that, because that's just not true. Instead, be focused on where you are and keep focusing on bringing in light, and as you do that, you naturally are always where you need to be. All right? That being said, hold your center. Thank you, angels. Thanks, guides. They're so great. Hold your center. That's you. Super cute. Now, I feel that this card speaks to you guys bringing in that higher consciousness, that higher self. They're bringing me back to this initiation. That's what initiation is in a nutshell. It's super cute. Your energy coming from above you, or from as above, so below, like the higher realms or whatever, coming to you and you invoking. When you are ready, you become more deep. And as you become more deep, you're able to accommodate more of your higher self, more of your energy. That's why people say, oh my God, that person's so shallow, they're so superficial. And that's why the opposite is like, oh my God, what you just said was so deep. Why is it so deep? Because they've emptied themselves of a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be there, and they can accommodate more of their higher selves. That's all that is. And so every time we initiate and we ascend, we raise our vibration and we're able to hold more of ourselves. And I see that here. Awesome. 3 and 4, 7. So I'm seeing that you will be coming into you. And that's why self-love is so important. That's why we have to keep ourselves on the right path and don't shit all over ourselves. Don't tell ourselves things are impossible. Don't tell ourselves we can't do it. And definitely don't let other people tell you that. Because, listen, I'm going to go ahead and make a statement. I want to say 9 out of 10, but I'm just going to say 10 out of 10 times. If you see somebody telling you what you can't do and you shouldn't do, they do not have their stuff together. They have no idea what they're talking about. You just gotta let those people go. All right? So you know what's best for you. As long as you align yourself to that true north, you'll be fine. What is that true north? It's things like, wow, I feel good about myself when, all right? I feel, and really get in touch with yourself, right? Have discernment. I like who I am when I'm around this person. I can be whatever I am naturally, and this person or this situation complements it. Things like that. Anything that is attacking you is not, it's probably not going to be a long-term thing for you, okay? Unless God is literally like, I need you there. And you will know if that's you. Now, why I'm seeing this card also is because Spirit is telling us that some of you may be having some ascension symptoms. God bless you. I'm seeing your larynx for some of you. I'm seeing that throat chakra for some of you needing clearing. Yeah. And that's because you've been afraid to expose yourself, as they say, to expose yourself, to show others who you are. As Doreen Virtue used to say, you're afraid of coming out of the spiritual closet. You're afraid to come out of the spiritual closet. You're afraid to be who you are. And, you know, as you start to feel this energy of yourself coming in and seeing that all these videos are supporting you in that, seeing that God and your angels are there standing next to you, you're going to start to feel justified. The scales are going to start to change, and you're going to start to trust that process more. And you'll be taking steps that you didn't ever dream that you could have taken. And look, he like climbed all the way up, and he's like, ugh, and he receives this key. This is that spiritual service. This key. Now, notice he's on these rocks. He's climbed up and up and up, and he's shot down these I can'ts, it's impossible, dare I to dream, all of those, I'm undeserving, to get this key from Spirit, knowing that he's accomplished something, he's achieved something, and now it's time for him to step into a greater expression of himself. But I feel that some of you may be having some issues with the physical part. So just relax and allow this energy to come in through you. Sometimes it'll ground itself within you some more as you sleep. Sometimes during the day you might experience some symptoms, headaches, things like that. Just make sure you're drinking water. Ask your angels and guides to really help you along the process. Right? Just this discomfort. Just allow it to be and let it go. And just, if you have to say, like, I welcome this new knowledge, God, and I release anything that doesn't need to be here anymore, and so it is, just do that. Grace it and get on with it, I've heard someone say, and that's a beautiful statement. Off to the side here, I'm seeing this guy rolling up his sleeves. He's taking that contract. He's ready. Look at that timer. It's done. But right underneath him is this card. This is the card that, like, where someone's devastated, like, oh my God, I lost something, I screwed something up, I'm supposed to be doing something, I don't know what. Look at the stark difference. This is where you are now. This may have been where you guys have been years before, but you know, this person is no longer living here, or they cleaned up or whatever. Now they're here, they're ready, their ducks are in a row. See this card? Same person. See how he was cleaning up this home? Look, I don't know how God orders these cards either. Like, they're literally just off to the side, and and they're there. But look, this was him before. This was you guys. You took the call though. Look. See that light shining? That's that idea coming to him. He knew he still had fears, but he's like looking around. He's like, I know I should be doing something, but what is it? My place is messy. But see that treasure chest with light? Eventually he found it, and he's like, oh. He starts to clean up his apartment, his house, whatever, and Spirit comes knocking. And that's where I think you guys are. But you're a little bit more forward, a lot of you, and you're rolling up your sleeves, reporting for duty. So that's what I'm seeing for quite a bit of you. For quite a bit of you, I do think you're going to be doing healing work in whatever way that's channeled for you, okay? All right, let's move on. Let's move these guys down here. Speaking of healing work, here's the divine physician. And I don't see this as you receiving anything so much as you giving, you spreading out and helping, you plural, all of you spreading out amongst the world in your communities and learning. I'm seeing you learning here from this guy who looks, like Jesus is commonly depicted, right? But let's focus on the energy here, the healing energy. Like you're like a nurse in training, and you're watching as he's healing this person. Whenever I see this person on the right, this person is like still in that pride mode. They're like, he's like, and he's asking a simple question, and did you learn something? And this person's not quite there, and they're like, well, you know what? This person should have learned something. He should have, they should have. And he's like, well, did you learn something? And they're like, well, I'm going to get to that part, but I want to tell this part first. That he's working gently on this person's mental field, right? So whatever it is that you're going to be doing, it doesn't matter. You're still learning healing, because whatever all of you guys are going to be doing in any way, shape, and form is going to be healing for the world. Now, that being said, I'm seeing that somebody here on this call, at least one person, is going to be a vocal teacher. Yes, you're going to be singing, and yes, you're going to be teaching people singing, maybe, and like playing the piano or just whatever. But remember, it's not just about the singing and the creation of music. It's about healing. It's about teaching people to find their voice. It's about clearing those throat chakras. I'm also hearing those third chakras. That's the will center. Teaching people it's okay to speak. Have your confidence as you do it. That's how you will be administering to these people. And I'm hearing public school. It's going to be a public forum where you'll be working. All right? So guys, and when we get on this grind, guys, when you get into spiritual service, yes, you will be compensated, so don't even worry about that. But you're on the grind. Like, that's what for example, the readings, I do my Etsy readings, but I do a lot on here in the comments, through the videos, for my friends, my family. So it's about getting that one reading after the other, extra follow-ups, all of that. And for example, this piano person that I'm seeing, or this vocal coach, yes, you'll have your own classroom, and yes, you'll have your stuff. But to think that you're just going to be working in that classroom is completely not the case. Like, anywhere you can, you will be instructing. If God says, I need you on that street corner, I need you to take the D train out in Brooklyn or wherever it goes, and I need you to talk to this person who's playing there, I need you to learn. Like, that's how you're going to be. You guys are going to be working around the clock. But it's going to be good work. It's going to be spiritual service. It's going to be fulfilling. I'm seeing that some of you, this card wants to come in way on the table over there. I'm seeing that some of you may be feeling alone on this journey. Some of you may have to leave your loved ones behind to make journeys, get on planes, do things like that. And you look sad. And I can't speak to that because I don't know, everyone on this call is so completely different. And not everyone will have to do this, but there will be some people who will have to separate for a little bit. And when I say separate, I don't mean like we're broken up, let's take a break. I mean like, hey, I'm going to be on this plane, I won't be back for another 2 weeks. But there are still ways that you can stay connected, right? So just know that whatever spiritual service you do, you will be compensated for it. God knows how important it is to administer to the soul. And if it is that you need love in your life, and that person by your side and in your ear to support you, you will have what you need along this journey, right? I'm seeing that some of you, for your spiritual service, as I'm doing this, I'm seeing the twin flames symbol here. I mean, my fingers are doing it. But I'm feeling that for some of you, you guys, your journeys will be maybe a little bit more challenging than a lot of others. Cause the twin flame journey is no joke, okay? But whatever it is, I'm seeing construction as well. I'm seeing boxing. So, boxing reaches a lot of youth around the world. A lot of youth who may have nowhere to turn. They find love, sometimes family, whatever, through boxing. But I'm seeing that for a lot of you, there might be odds you have to overcome. That's what I'm seeing with this chessboard in dealing with people. A lot of you may even be dealing with people who are defiant. They're getting what they need, but they don't want to hear it. They might get angry at you, see? If you're a therapist, you're trying to tell somebody something and their defense mechanisms kick in, right? It might be like some of you dealing with underprivileged youth. You're a social worker. You got to deal with these kids who have been scarred at early ages. They don't know who to trust. They don't want to trust you. They think that they're grown, all sorts of stuff. Trying to reach through to those kids, for example, can be hard. And so they're acknowledging that the work that you're going to be doing may not be easy for a lot of you. And then for others of you, it may be more relaxing. It may be more whatever. But just know that things are equally yoked based on God's determination. And on the other side, you are the ones who signed up for it, for that particular thing. For some of you want to sign up to move pianos to help people, and some of you want to sign up to play pianos to help people. Now listen, I'd much rather be playing a piano than moving one, but the point is, on the other side, you'd made the decision as to what your spiritual contribution is going to be. And they're saying that a lot of that has to do with not only what you felt like doing, they're saying it like that, like, I feel like it. They're saying it's not only what you felt like doing, they have a good sense of humor, but it's also karmically determined. Some of you have tacked on karmic service to it, like, oh, I did this and I hurt this person, so for my spiritual service I want to do this and I want to do that to kind of do double duty. Some of you just like, oh, this is so sweet. They're saying some of you just like working with certain people. So maybe you got, oh, I didn't know that. See, guys, I'm here on the call with you. I'm learning too. So like they're saying that you might make a list on the other side, and it's super cute. I'm seeing you write names. Okay, these people. And of course you meet with all these people. And then part of your spiritual service is to help these 156 people, for example, throughout your career down here or as part of your service. And you may realize that that's why you just tend to have a great relationship with all of the people that you work with down here, and you got their pictures on your fridge and all sorts of stuff because you like them so much that you wanted to tailor your spiritual project around them. And that's beautiful. It's fun and it's awesome, right? So there are many reasons and many elements that go into your kind of spiritual service. And some of you just want to play and have fun and then some of you want to keep learning and all sorts of stuff, and that's why some of yours are really challenging. Somebody's spiritual service is to work is to be born into one of those, I forgot the culture, Sherpa culture. There's a culture called Sherpa, capital S, and I can't remember which mountain they live at. It might be Mount Everest. Is it Mount Everest? Maybe. And they help, and their economy is heavily reliant on the many visitors that travel and try to climb Mount Everest. And I think it's Mount Everest, but you can double check that. But they know the mountains, and they help them be their guides to them. They give them places to stay, all sorts of stuff. Now, maybe as your spiritual service, you want to keep learning about humanity. And there's all sorts of stuff. So you might decide to be born into Sherpa culture, and you may decide to challenge yourself, pick up some extra skills by becoming a guide there, and all sorts of, So we just don't know. The whole earth is a classroom, and listen, guys, we don't know what we were thinking on the other side. Apparently, we were on cloud 9, because some of the things that we have ourselves going through, I want to see myself and just slap myself. Like, what were you thinking? But then I feel it, and I was like, I don't know what I was thinking, right? Because it's us. Anyway, moving on. I'm seeing, yes, this is sacred contract again coming in. Some of you are not going to be alone in your spiritual work. You're going to be picking up partners to help you. Think about the Neptunes, right? What's his name? It was Hugo. I think Hugo was one of the guys' names. And he worked with Pharrell Williams. They were in the Neptunes, that group together. They made beats, all sorts of stuff. They changed the world in many ways. They changed the music game in many ways. That's spiritual service. they've mentored people like along the way, right? That's a partnership. Some of you are coming in as groups. They're saying soul collectives, amen, where you're working in a certain capacity together. Some of these small towns that have some small towns are literally populated by a soul collective or a soul group, just working with each other and off of each other, and everyone's in each other's business, and but either way, they're also saying in heavy industries as well, soul collectives working in heavy industries. They're saying that for us, the closest we can come to think about that concept of a soul collective working in a heavy industry is how we, like in Lord of the Rings, we look at what were those guys? Gimli. Sorry, my bad, guys. What is he? He's a dwarf. And they all worked in the mountains and they did all that stuff. They're like, well, maybe they're in the mountain industry, whatever. That's their thing. Or Gringotts, remember from Harry Potter? Spirit, thank you for this analogy. Harry Potter, like the goblins, tend to be focusing on the money and the financial things and the financial sector, and all. That's what they all just seem to work on. Like an example is that they're saying big tobacco. Oh wow, controversial, guys, controversial. Big tobacco. When we look at big tobacco, the very disgust that we have for them, it comes out in the moniker that we've given them, big tobacco. But they're saying a lot of them, this soul collective, coming down en masse during a certain time period, working to create the conditions to be the devils, to be the saints, right? To bring this conglomerate to the surface to be healed. Now we can't, in the States, we can't see advertising for tobacco anywhere. It's illegal. You can't smoke in certain establishments anymore. It's illegal. Now when you buy cigarettes, I feel that if I remember right, it's legal. Like they have to comply with advertising laws and they have to show warnings, things like that. So when we think about big tobacco, our 3D eyes see, oh my God, all these devils sitting in the exec room just pumping our kids full of whatevers, right? But actually, that's a soul collective. Some of them have agreed to play the bad guys, working in the marketing, working in the business sector, R&D, research and development. And then some of the same group have decided to be the many lawyers supporting that, and the many lawyers trying to get rid of it, and the people in the media whose life's work has been to shine lights on this, including the people who have been dying from it and who have become poster boys for it and all sorts. That's a huge soul collective. They're saying that's why they're using the word collective. And what are they trying to teach? That's me also asking. Okay, well, I guess that what Spirit is saying right now, what we need to learn, as opposed to telling me the answer for what I wanted, they're saying is that anonymity is sometimes, I forgot what the last part is. Sorry, guys. What were you saying? It comes so fast. Thank you. Anonymity is sometimes not what we think it is. So basically what they're trying to say there is we look at big tobacco and we are in the dark about who these real people are on the other side. And it's easy for us to think of them in a negative way, but they're anonymous maybe to us for a reason, because we need that illusion of having good guys and bad guys and this and that so that we can learn, right? So either way, for whatever it's worth, going back to this, thank you, Spirit, God bless you. Going back to this, I'm seeing that you guys are going to be having sacred partnerships connected with this. Some of you, yes, you'll be working as a collective, and some of you are working more one-on-one, some of you are working in teams, and yes, maybe some of you might be working alone, but do we ever work alone, right? I heard someone say, yes, we do. I was like, oh, okay, maybe somebody does. It's possible, right? But we never work alone, because someone's got to be there to, even if you're holed up in your room doing YouTube videos, someone's got to watch them, right? Even if you lived alone in a cave for a long time and you just did cave paintings, someone's got to discover them one day. So we're never working alone. It's just c'est impossible, right? It's not possible. As I'm seeing here, Spirit is also showing me like a tornado coming down and blowing apart these desks and chairs and tables and this nice teapot. Spirit is saying that along the way there are partnerships that are going to break for certain reasons. There are teams that are going to be replaced. There are teams that are going to oust you. All sorts of stuff. They're summarizing it and saying there are going to be shakeups in management. There are going to be shakeups in the teaming and the partnerships, and even that's for a reason. And they want you to keep in mind the whole big tobacco collective vision, because the victim of someone who dies of lung cancer and becomes a poster boy, or who dies and becomes yet just another statistic, is part of the same collective, just as somebody who is in the exec room pulling the trigger on some of these marketing things, and the vendors on the streets selling these out to people. Like, they're all part of the same collective. They don't need, down here, they don't need to be friends. Sometimes they need to be enemies. Sometimes people need to double cross each other. That's what they're showing. But they're bringing me over to this card next, the Muse card. They're saying your job is and always will be simple. Integrity. And we talked about that in yesterday's reading. Have integrity. These people can do whatever they want. You don't have to take that route, right? And in a sense, I kind of feel that, because if you guys have been with me from the beginning, you've known that, you probably noticed that I never used to have comments enabled on my videos, because for me, I didn't want to. I kind of wanted to just do my thing and not engage with that, because I didn't want it to throw me off. And then I'm sensitive, as we all are, and sometimes it's easy to just say stuff without thinking, and without thinking that how would you feel receiving that. And I didn't want to get into the space where I started to hate this passion that I was doing. And then after a while, when I felt a little bit more strong, I thought to myself, well, you know what? Maybe people want to talk to themselves. Maybe they have questions, maybe whatever. And so I enabled the comments, and I just released it to God. And I noticed that most comments are not as negative as I see on other channels. And maybe on other channels, they're supposed to be, or, you know, I don't know what sacred contracts people have in place. But I've already notice that I choose not to. I've made a spiritual decree, and this is what you need to do. This is what I'm trying to explain here. Have your integrity. I've made a spiritual decree that even if my feelings are hurt about something, I choose whether or not to even respond to that, because I don't have to. And if somebody is responding in a negative way, or they're trolling, and there certainly have been trolls, right? It's kind of like it's not my business. And it's kind of like I don't care. If I feel that it threatens the community, then I will remove it, and I haven't had to do that. But at the end of the day, usually that's somebody who's coming from a place of pain, and that's it. And I mean, like, when I say trolling, you guys know what trolling is. You probably haven't seen it. So if you're like, oh my God, did I ever troll Jonelle's page? No, you haven't. Okay. I mean, not to the point that I feel like, you know, yeah, you're not being mean to people. That's what I'm talking about. So here's my question. When you do your spiritual work, and when you're dealing with people out there, and when you're faced with choices that you have to make, you have to remember, who are you doing this for? Who are you serving? Your community. You're serving God, right? Who are you doing this for? The many people that you're going to be helping now and in the future. And is it worth it to make the choice that you want to make at that time? Do you want to die on that hill, as they say? And so if it's not worth it, don't even engage. So a lot of people let go of their integrity for too little. And you don't want to do that, guys. So part of your job, as Spirit is saying, is as you maneuver your spiritual service, as you meet different people, as you come into different conflicts and obstacles, do your best to focus on how you are being in the space. You can't control what anyone else does. It's none of your business to do that either. You hope that they have good reactions, but only you can focus on you, right? That being said, wow, it's crazy. Like, I feel today, like if we're closest to this, you guys, we're closest to you guys being contacted and saying, let's go. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people on this call started having dreams or started getting their key, like literally the key is here, because I'm seeing here that you're working on your stuff. I'm feeling that you are going to start working like pretty soon. This card shows spirit coming to you and saying, hi, welcome. Can you guys come into the training? Here's your welcome basket. That's what I'm feeling. And then here, I'm feeling like you guys, say these same two people, like everybody kind of like assembling and then waiting for this teacher to come in and discuss. Like partnerships are being made now, all sorts of stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if you are going to, like maybe this weekend or just whenever, start having this gift. Now this card wanted to come in. It goes along with this idea of surrender your ego. So I saw it as being connected to the beginning, but also it goes along with this idea of your teacher coming in and your spiritual service literally starting soon. Because check this out. Now you've been walking through this forest and now you see Buddha and that gift that he's giving you and this little world here. So you're literally right there. You're locking eyes with Buddha. It's definitely time for a lot of you to have this. Yeah. This service start. There's your teacher, right? Last few cards. Let's take a look. And then your homeboy, which is representing you guys, you're rolling up your sleeves. All right? So I'm going to put you on top here because that's where you want to be. Okay. Let's see. I didn't have my hot beverage today. Okay. I'm seeing music for some of you. Music, big time. I'm seeing some of you being in like a whole different world now. I'm seeing alignment. And it's almost like this little being, that's you, super cute, is saying goodbye behind here. Bye, everybody, as he steps into that service. See that flower? There it is again. All right. So, what does it say? Nurturing. Aw, I don't feel nurturing wants to step in. I feel more like it's this image that wants to. I'm seeing some of you will have multiple paths to get to your service. Because look, he can boom, 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 boom. He can take that, which totally seems like it's corresponding to the 7 chakras. Or he can boom, 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 and then walk around here and get up here. It's his choice. But I'm like, why is Spirit showing me that? Because here's the point. He can also fly. Some of you, I'm not saying some of you can fly. I wish, guys. Dude, if that ever came up, I would let you know so fast. Time travel, yes. Okay? But maybe some of you can fly and levitate. Hit me up. But look, what they're saying is some of you, your skills are that advanced that it's almost like how, like I'm seeing here, this person can fly right up there. I'm seeing some advanced skills here for a lot of you. Something wants to come here. Oh God. Okay, that's what it is. I'm seeing that some of you have guardians as well. Guardians in your environment. Ooh, thank you, Spirit. Oh God, guys, you guys don't know how good that feels. Some of you have guardians in your spirit and you don't even know it. Not in your spirit, in your space, and you don't even know it. Like, what does that mean? So if you're ever like, you're going to the bathroom and you're just feeling like this presence there, you might get scared of that presence. But chances are that if there's actually something there, you didn't just finish watching like some horror story or something, that presence that's scaring you is this huge guardian of yours. Dude, like, nothing's getting past that guy. Like, that's what I'm seeing. Because I'm seeing this guardian right here, just posted. Right there. In, like, the water. Like, if he wanted to stand up and, like, he'd be, like, this tall. That big and, like, that tough, you know? Somebody call me. Like, oh, my God. Not me. I did. Wait, did I? I don't know. Don't hurt me. It's kind of that feeling. But they're there to protect you. And, A lot of you, yeah. We have guardians, guys. Some of you guys may call them guardian angels, like whatever. Guys, I have so many stories. I could write a book. Oh my God. But I will tell you this one quick story. One time, without going into too many details, let's just say I lost my faith. And I was scared because I was scared of everything. I was living in a house that was haunted. I didn't know that I was clairaudient. I was crazy, like whatevers. And I remember one time I was coming out of, my angels are like, yes, you did. You were talking to them. I was like, oh, I was. I guess I did, but I thought that you were my guides. I didn't know they were ghosts. Long story short. And they weren't nice, everybody. Anyway, I didn't have the knowledge I have now. Anyway, and I remember I was so scared. I'd gone through a bad, experience spiritually, and it was just really terrible. And I was leaving my mom's room, and then in the doorway, I just felt this huge energy that just stood in front of the doorway, and I was walking, I was like, whoa, and it was massive, and I just, it was like a wall, it just boom, right there, and the words and the feeling that I got, it was I remember the words, it said, stop being afraid of heaven, and that's it, and I was like, oh, and it was whatever was on me or in me, the fear, the everything was blown away by those words. And that was it. From that moment on, I never was afraid of heaven anymore. And I didn't even know I was just afraid of I don't know. I couldn't see anything. And I wasn't honed. I didn't know. And that moment, that's what I'm talking about. Guardians. Okay, we think we feel them, but you will know when you feel them. It'll feel if they make themselves known to you hardcore, you will feel it's like a brick wall, and you're like, why am I even afraid if I got this guy over here? Okay. Now, that's leading me into this next card. They're saying, thank you, Spirit. thank you, guards. And they call themselves guards. I'm like, guardian angels? But they refer to themselves as a guard, so sure. Maybe not all of our guards are angels and at that frequency. I don't know, guys. But anyway, they're showing me that some of you will also need mental protection, as you'll be dealing with a lot of energies that operate at the mental realm, mental field, so to speak. A lot of you also need mental protection because what you're doing and what you will be doing and with you will be working with, sometimes in the flesh, these people, they have ways of messing with your mind and gaslighting, all sorts of stuff. That guardian is saying that they'll also be there to protect you and beyond into the stars. Some of you will be working with more galactic energies, doing a lot of channeling, astral traveling, lucid dreaming, things like that, and other things that we may not even know terms for, guys. They're out there, and they're saying they will be there to protect you. Some of you are aware of your abilities and you're afraid to open up to them because of the unknown. If you can't see, that's a double-edged sword. If you can't see with your spiritual eyes, then it's kind of like being blind and somebody's talking to you and you're feeling things and you don't know if that's good or bad, and and then if you can see, then that's also scary because then you see all the beings around you and then you're like, I wish I didn't see this. So Spirit is there. They're pulling this card over together. They're saying we got you. That's verbatim. Okay? They're tethering you. Somebody here does a lot of channeling and out of body experiencing. See how they're moving the cards and you're able to move, but they're not letting you go, is what they're saying. So don't be afraid, is what they're saying there. In this card, I see purification. So a lot of you have been going through this purification process. Great job, by the way. But they're also speaking to needing to purify your space, your home space, energetic clearings, whatnot. Here I'm seeing the first chakra. They want to say third chakra as well, okay? Your will center, right? But I'm seeing your first chakra here needing to be cleansed. Cleansed, what does that mean? Oh, they're recognizing the Patriot Act reference that I made. They said great reference. Yes, thank you, God. Because I'm always like, is this a good thing while I'm talking? Anyway, so they're referencing that. They're showing how, yes, Hassan has great he's purified. There's something that's purified about him. That's a purification, that's a groundedness, that's a yoke that's around him. And so they're showing that you need to make sure that as you go into this, that you keep yourself grounded. Administer to your heart and your mind, but they're saying don't forget the base chakra. That's what they're saying. That base chakra. If you don't have that base chakra set up, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, you guys too, whoever's doing the tethering and out of body stuff, make sure that you work on your base chakra. That's that red grounding chakra. Buddha, this card, they're saying, yes, they're acknowledging the red here. They're saying that foundation has to be there before you can even like accept this stuff. They're saying, because as they pull you into service, they need you to be grounded now. Ooh, okay. I wrote down a note the other day. Oh, first, because they're saying you're going to be dealing with forces, guys. Forces outside of yourself that will want to pick you up and throw you sometimes. They're saying, let me tell you something that I wrote down, and I wrote it down 2 days ago, and it was going to be a video content, but Spirit wants me to bring it in here. It's about this idea of being unshakable. I was very shakeable, guys, for a long time. What does that mean? Like I'd start doing something, then I'd get scared, someone would say something mean or like be mean, and then like I'd stop it, or I wouldn't do anything anymore. But what Spirit is saying is you have to, they want me to expose this card here, this spiritual service card. You have to be unshakable. What does that mean? Trust your guides, trust your team. See the force card? If this is what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. And that's all there is to it. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be open to new ways of being flexible to what other people are saying. But what I'm trying to say is, for example, I need to give you guys a great example. A lot of you will be dealing with spiritual service that has to do with the arcane. They're saying with, oh God, why do you say it that way? They're saying with the undead. They're saying it's Halloween. So they want you to have a little fun with this, okay? So don't get scared, they're saying. They really have great senses of humor, guys. A lot of you will be dealing with, and now they're showing you, they're saying that for a reason, so you can start to be unshakable. Thank you. See, they don't mince words, guys. Non-physical beings is the word they would say. But look at what's your reaction to non-physical beings versus the arcane, the undead, ghosts, demons? Those are like. If you're reacting differently to all of these words, you're not unshakable. Unshakability means knowing for a fact that you're protected, knowing that things are the same but they have different words. Non-physical beings, okay. And then I said non-physical beams, which brings me to another thought that I don't even know if I should mention, because it's an inquiry at this time. Are we even here right now? I'm going to leave it at that, okay? Spirit said something to me that made me wonder last night, and they gave me that to chew on. So I'm going to include it. Non-physical beams. Okay, we're gonna, Spirit, you're trying to get me to think. I'm passing it on to everyone to think as well. But non-physical beings. When someone wants to come to me and they're talking about, oh, this guy is this lizard, this is that. All right, look. I'm gonna go ahead and lump you in as outside of me, number one. Number two, non-physical being, fine. That's it. But I'm not going to get myself into a place where I start to quake and I start to question myself and I start to become afraid, because there are just too many people in our daily life in general that we deal with who want to see you shake. They want you to get off your game. They want to scare you. When you scare someone, you take their power and they've lost their platform. What do you think these non-physical beings that are just not up to any good are trying to do? And so what you need to do is you have to be unshakable. My job is this, and I want to get up and use the bathroom. I'm going to get up and use the bathroom, and I'm going to come back and sit down here. On the way to the bathroom, if I hear Tom, Dick, and Harry, and this person in my ear spiritually telling me this, they're this person, they're going to do that, I don't want to hear it. I'm not here to listen to you. I have one goal, It's to get up and use the bathroom, get back and do this video. That's it. And you cut that out right away. You stay focused on the light. You are unshakable. These people, or whatever non-physical beings, people in real life too, they can tell you whatever they want. If they call you a tree, if they call you a bitch, that should have the same neutrality as if they called you a tree. All right, thank you. Bye. Next, right? Unshakability is what they're trying to get you to be. Why do you think Buddha is sitting in the middle of these trees? Right? I don't know why, but he's unshakable, just like these trees. Now, force. This is the card here. Be a force in and of yourself. Notice the color of this card is white. If you see yourself as a force of good, damn it, we don't need to hear from anybody else about it. All right? As long as you are having that intention of helping, you're putting yourself out there, you're monitoring the effect that it's having on people, and you're caring for them, and you're caring for yourself, and you can say from a third-party perspective that you are doing your best, you are having hits, you are really dedicated to help, then you're in a good place. Just because someone comes in and calls you something, don't let it get you off your path. This is unshakability. A lot of you are going to need that. Some of you might become lawyers. Some of you, as lawyers already, will be taking on cases in the name of God, but no one knows that, right? But you're helping, that's your spiritual service. There are going to be people trying to run loops around you on that mental level to try and get you to lose cases, right? You have to be unshakable in your faith, guys, okay? And Spirit does test us, but it's, they're saying it's instructional testing. They test you, and then after, they're like, oh, that was a test. That's happened to me so many times, like, oh, it was? Oh, man, I failed. Oh, it was? Okay, well, maybe I didn't do too badly. I don't know, whatever. And then they give you feedback, and you learn, all right? So let's just end this reading with this card here. Oh, okay, I just heard him say this isn't the last card, and I'm like, where's the other card? Ding! Wisdom. All right, thank you. So let's read. Force. Force lives in your will and comes from your intent. Life is a process of pulling back your bow, aiming your arrow, and choosing a target and shooting. The degree and quality of the force with which you choose your target and shoot determine your power and your success. Force is built through your integrity of purpose, your physical tuning, and your balance of spirit and mind. By naming your act of power, you create force. Follow your innermost passions in life. Empower your will and your strength of force by manifesting your secret dreams. Just think of it. I need to go to the bathroom. Don't bother me until I'm back. And that's it. All right? I'm filing this case. Don't bother me. All right? But of course, stay open to Spirit, and they will temper you as needed. All right? Wisdom. If you are addicted to the process of becoming, there are storms on your horizon. If suddenly there is nothing left to become, you are filled with terror. Suddenly you are face to face with your own empty being. Find a sacred space, a sanctuary of pleasant stillness in your heart. To know that you are truly alone is the first step on the long journey of self-discovery on the path to power. The final step is to learn that you are already linked with the universe, that you are already part of everything, and you already live in all of the lodges of the universe. This is wisdom. Guys, they're so funny. Okay. All right. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you so much for staying on this call. I know that the videos are getting a bit longer, but you know what? When Spirit speaks, I just give, and what it is that you need to hear, you will hear when it is that you need to hear it. Oh, I'm getting a police force feeling for somebody here. Someone here is a cop, and they're secretly watching. Why are you secretly watching? Why secretly? All right? Yes, I'm feeling that this police person secretly is watching because they want to transform the force where they are. Now, I'm telling you, your spiritual service is before you. That's brought you here, and your intention is strong, and you know it's an institution that you're working in, but there I've already seen for you, your future here is very bright. There are going to be some ups and downs, but you are going to be very well placed everywhere you need to be. It's like, like Spirit has given you some things you need to drop off. Sticker. And you may not know it, but imagine you're dropping these little lights, these little beams, and they're going to be shining in these different places, and eventually the lights will come through. So you're definitely going to be changing some things, and that is your sacred duty. So you may want to do it. Yeah, I'm hearing this person, you, saying, I'm watching what's on TV and it's hurting my heart. Yeah, it is hurting your heart. It's hurting a lot of people's hearts, and that's why you came down in this time and in this space, and you decided to have this job. Now, I will say, I'm hearing that somebody, it's either the same person or someone says the truck driver was me too. Maybe in the sense that you're working in an institution that is just depraved in many ways. But I'm feeling that for this police person that you could have had another angle. Maybe it could have been the truck driving, could have been anything. You could have had another angle, like done another, you had a choice on this earth to get into one of two different institutions, and you chose the law enforcement, and that's because you felt that that's where you were needed the most. And I see you making a lot of headway. All right, so whether you want to do it secretly or not, that is your prerogative, but you're gonna do it. All right, so thank you. Thank you so much. All right, thank you guys. Thank you to all of you. As you know, if you'd like a personal reading with me, you know where to find me in the box below. Also, if you'd like to donate, definitely, hit it up. All right, have a beautiful, wonderful time. God loves you, I love you, and you're amazing. And I think we might all be part of the same collective in some sense. All right, bye.